All right, what's going on, YouTube? Thank you for being here. I want to just go over what my life was like growing up playing sports. And I know all of my ex-athletes out here are going to understand a lot of what I'm about to say just because I don't feel like many people really get it or how or understand how sports can really impact your life because it plays a major role in how you carry yourself, experiences, learning how to win, learning how to lose, and a lot of the character traits that we develop over the years that we play. So I'm gonna just dive in. I'm gonna share with you guys, and right here, I'm gonna have photos of my whole story and everything. And right here, this is 2015 high school. This is when I was a baby, just rocking the headband. I knew that I wanted to play sports, even though I couldn't say anything. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about my parents and everything as well on, their impact in my life in sports too. On the bottom right, this is just like a cool little action photo of one of my first years in AYSO playing soccer. So let's dive right into it. Soccer was the first sport that I ever played. It was the first thing that I learned how to do really well, to be honest. I loved playing the game. The bottom left over here, I was 5 years old. This was our first team, Blue Sharks. My dad coached me all of my AYSO years, which was, I think, 4 or 5 years of AYSO. And this was the first year that I played. Hopefully, you guys can see the cursor here, but I'm in the middle right there with my hand on the ball. I was 5 years old, and it's pretty cool to see because on that same photo, all the way to the right, right here, this is Leon. And man, it's crazy because even to this day, like we're on the same team. He's actually in the academy, he's in my online coaching program, and it's just cool to just be around the individuals that I grew up playing sports with too. So that's super dope. And in the middle right here, strikers, this team was a beast. Like we were like that team, like we were ballers. We did great things to be honest. And my dad right here is on the bottom left with his hands crossed on his knee. I'm in the middle. I'm on the top. I'm standing. I'm the second one on the left. So it's the left and then I'm the next one. That's me. Guys, this is just a little summary of what it was like AYSO. My dad coached me. My dad has always been really hard on me, but he's always came from a place of love and just wanting me to do the best that I possibly can. And I think a lot of you guys will understand, like, if you have a father figure or even your parent or a guardian who's just really always pushing you to do better, it really is because they see something in you that you don't. And this is probably going to get me a little emotional because like that is something that my dad has always seen, and I never really knew it for myself either. On the right here, this is us. This team, me wearing the purple jersey, was Purple Pirates. I remember the team name. Bottom right is my pops and I again, me with the Gatorade, and that's another Blue Sharks. We had another Blue Sharks team as well. Uh, in AYSO, this is where I actually got scouted to play at the next level, which is a club team. And it's funny because we were playing a game and I never play goalkeeper, guys. I never grew up playing in the goal. But this particular game, I remember we were winning and I wanted to play goalie. So I jumped into the goal, I put my gloves on, and I remember being in the goal and somebody asking like from behind the goal, they were asking, like, hey, do you play on a club team? Do you normally play goalie? They were just asking me random questions. And back then I was younger. I was a little kid. So I just felt like stranger danger, like I don't want anybody to be talking to me. Like I'm playing the game right now. And I just kind of felt weirded out because they were still watching the whole time. And I just tried to focus on the game. Then once that game ended, they approached my parents and I, and they had asked if I wanted to play on a club team. And this club team was called Celtics. And I remember going to a practice or maybe a few, but it didn't feel like I wanted to play there. But we found a new club team, and that's where I want to dive into a little bit more on. So I joined a club team. I joined Legends, and I also started to fall in love with basketball as well. Basketball and soccer were like my two favorite sports growing up, and they were basically all that I played. I played one season of football, and I'll discuss that a little bit more, but I started at playing Legends, and this top left photo right here has a really big, meaningful story behind it because, guys, you and I both know like winning is great, but when you lose, it's hard to accept, and it's hard to really understand like. what can I learn from losing, especially when you're growing up playing sports. And this one right here, this one was a tough one. This was actually state cup. And me holding this big old red trophy is not me holding a first place trophy, it's me holding a second place trophy. We lost a championship game, and I clearly remember the situation that happened. Guys, I know sports are a team effort. There's not one particular mistake that leads to a win or a loss, but sometimes things can be prevented, and if they're not, then there's consequences. And I remember we're playing the game, we're tied with this team, it's a championship game, and our goalkeeper came sliding out in front of the 18-yard line. He kicks the ball, it doesn't make it past half field, it goes straight to the other opponent, and he boots the ball in, and they scored and they won. And it was just like a heartbreaker, to be honest, because you go through the bracket, you get out of group stage, you get into like round of 16, round of 8, quarters, and then you get semifinals, and like we did the whole journey, man, and we lost in the championship game. So there's a lot to learn from that. Like, hard work always pays off no matter what, because again, that wasn't the only championship that I was a part of, or the only championship game that I was a part of. You win some, you lose some. My parents have always been super supportive. Like, they've always just wanted me to play. They wanted me to focus on soccer in school, and they gave me that opportunity, and I'm forever grateful for it. So, mom and dad, if you guys are watching this, like, thank you for all of that. Like, I really learned so much about myself through sports, and now I'm able to share what I've learned with everybody. So, thank you for always allowing me to really take a chance on myself. My little brother Angel, right here with the AC/DC shirt, he actually grew up playing soccer as well. He was always at my games, whether it was because like he was just young and he had to be. He really always supported, always wanted me to win, always wanted to be just there. And I appreciate you, bro, for always being there and showing up to the games. And he ended up doing his thing as well. And we ended up winning our own championship together. I'll foreshadow this a little bit, but we won. We won CIF while he was a player and I was a coach. So crazy how things become full circle. But basketball was another thing that I started to fall in love with. Like, that sport was super fun. Like, I was really good at defense and shooting three-pointers, and like really figuring out like how I can do better and how I can develop this like resilient attitude. And basketball taught me that. I ended up doing travel ball as well, which is a club for basketball. I didn't incorporate any photos here of that actually, so I actually didn't do that, and I should have. But this is just NJB. I ended up really liking it. I tried basketball for club as well, where Nick Bates, Mr. Bates, if you're here watching this, like, I appreciate you for, helping me learn how to trust myself and how to believe in myself, because he's also another person, along with my dad, who saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. Um, Alex Bengard was just another great coach as well. He actually played for LA Galaxy, so I got lucky with a coach who was very experienced. And this was the squad right here, guys. Like, Legends FC, this was the team. Like, Andres is right there, Derek is right there, Dylan, Uri. Like, if you guys are seeing this, man, like, make sure you hit me up. Like, we gotta chop it up. We gotta, just reminisce on the good times, because that was the squad. Like, that's what started the whole journey of Legends and that team. So it was just really, really great to kind of reminisce and look at these pictures. But that was a fun time. Basketball, and club soccer were where I really started to fall in love with sports. And before I get there, and before like I dive into this, like, all of this was great. And then we moved. So we moved from where we lived before, and practice was really far now. Like, we were driving an hour and a half to practice. We were stuck in 2-hour traffic, and it just started to feel like a job. Like, sports became really, it just became too much. I felt like I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I felt like even when my dad started pushing me, like, it didn't really resonate the same way. I felt like I was just really disconnected with like myself, like mentally and physically. It didn't feel the same anymore. And I got burnt out, dude. Like, I got tired. And now with my perspective now, I see why, but I didn't understand in the moment. I just felt like I don't want to play anymore. I'm tired. Like I don't want to play. I don't like it anymore. I don't like the game. I just felt very resistant to it. And I actually clearly remember the last, I think it was a national cup tournament that we lost. We didn't win the whole tournament, and I remember thinking in the back seat like, man, this is the last game that I'm gonna play. Like I had already decided I wasn't gonna play anymore, and I felt happy in that moment, and I'll never forget that. I kind of just kept that one to myself for forever, to be honest, until now, and it led to where I'm at in my life now, but. I just felt tired. I didn't play soccer for 2 years and 3 years actually. And I tried football. I tried football my eighth grade year and I thought it was fun, man. Like go figure, like I was kicker, I was the punter, I was the corner, I was the receiver. I tried safety. Like I was always on the field and it was so much fun, dude. Like I always got so much credit for how I played on the football field, but it just didn't resonate with me either, man. Like I just felt like I didn't want to put all that extra time and effort into a high school sport now. I was an eighth grader when I played. This is me with the jersey, the blue and orange jersey. Played for Cougars, and I just didn't feel like I wanted to. I didn't feel excited. These trophies, first, second, third place trophies, medals, and all this stuff. It's just that's what my life was, dude. It was just games on the weekend, tournaments on the weekend, practice during the week, extra work on my own. Like that's it. That's all. And even, playing on like this Sunday league team right here, like my dad sitting on the sideline supporting, like it's just always been that. And I didn't know why I got burnt out, but looking back now, I got burnt out because it felt like I wasn't doing it for the love of the game. I just felt like I was doing it because that's just what I was used to doing. And that's a good perspective that I never broke down until now. So then high school came around and on the left here, I decided with basketball. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play basketball. I don't want to play soccer yet. I still don't miss it. And I played freshman year basketball. This is right here with my KDs on my feet. And I had horrible ankles. So I thought it was a good idea to get like KD shoes who literally didn't have any ankle support. So I'm rocking these ankle supporters and straps. Basketball was fun. Playing point guard, I played shooting guard. I actually have some stats. I didn't pull them up. I think that photo is actually at my parents' house. But basketball was lots of fun. And you know how there's like some of those coaches where you learn a lot from, and there's also some of those coaches where you kind of lose like the love of the game for. And honestly, I lost the love of game for like playing competitively on basketball because of the coach that I had. We would always get into like arguments and disagreements, and I just felt like he had something against me, to be honest. So then like that kind of like caused me to start missing soccer, and soccer and basketball were in the same season, so I kind of had to pick like, am I going to play again next year and deal with this next year for sophomore year, or am I going to dial back into soccer and give it a try? So I decided to do that. I missed soccer and I had decided no football. My dad was actually really disappointed in that decision because he was excited for me. And again, I found a way just to get in my own way. I found a way to just find a reason not to. And I made all the excuses in the world as to why I didn't and I couldn't. So I didn't. And that's still a decision that I regret to this day, to be honest, because I spent a lot of time doing things I shouldn't have, just distracting myself when who knows where football could have taken me to. I didn't see it like that until after, which is why I'm so certain with like the mindset that I've developed and worked for now. I'm like so freaking certain like where I'm going and how I'm heading and what my goals are in my life and like my aspirations and what I'm doing here, making this YouTube video for you guys, talking about my whole story. Like I'm so freaking certain, and I wouldn't have earn this if I didn't have that experience with football before either. So everything does happen for a reason. So I jumped back into soccer and I just kind of wanted to like get my feet wet again. I joined AYSO, back to what started it all. Like my dad helped me with coaching, and like that was my first sport ever, and I jumped back into it. And I had so much fun, dude. Like I missed it. I balled out. Like I just felt so confident again. I felt like I needed that, you know. I felt like I needed that break. I kept telling myself. And it was just a lot of fun. So this is me on the right. This is going into sophomore year. This is like getting ready to go into sophomore year because this was after basketball. And it was so much fun, dude. Like I missed it a lot. And then I just felt like the few years after that, like sophomore, junior, senior year, dude, they were just redemption. Like I was locked in. That is all I focused on. That is all I did. I had like the most confidence in the world. Guys, I'm telling you this as a perspective because I learned from it and I actually went through something that I didn't think I would going into college ball. But this right here, dude, I had the most confidence in the world on the field because I knew that I was doing what I needed to do on the field and I knew that I was getting good grades. So I was like super confident going forward. I played back with legends. Like after that first year of AYSO, I jumped back into Legends and my coach brought me back in with open arms and like I felt very grateful to be a part of a team that like wanted me to be there and I was just dialed in, dude. Training 2 to 3 times a day, doing extra work on my own, driving to practice on my own, um, just working hard, man. And I went from, state cup to now we were doing national cup. This is me on the right. This is 2015 national cup. So this is sophomore year and just dialed in and then I got hurt. And then shin splints happened, dude. I wanted to run track sophomore year, junior year, and my shin splints were brutal. Dude, and if you've ever had shin splints, like I want you to drop it down below because drop it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. It felt like my shins were gonna snap. Every time I walked, I felt like my shin was just destined to, at one point, it was gonna happen. It was that bad. Like it hurt to walk, let alone get upstairs, let alone run. So I had to take, man, I took almost like half a season off. And the rest of the season was still hurt because like it never healed. So I had to dial back. I had to take time off. I remember being in the bathroom and those foam Dixie cups, the little white cups, I would fill those up with water, freeze them, cut off the bottom and use like the solid ice as like a massage on my shin. I would be in the bathroom just like cussing out loud because it hurt so bad. And I just was trying everything that I could to like learn how I can get better, how I can get healthier. And that actually sparked my interest in learning about the human body and how recovery. So I felt like I had an idea of what I wanted to learn moving forward because I did want to play college, go to college, and I wanted to play college ball. So, guys, senior year was like I just dialed in, man. Like I earned, all area. I earned honors of MVP of the team, defensive MVP of the league. I earned a bunch of first team honors as well. Conqueror of the week. This is when I performed well in the classroom and on the field. The high school that I went to, which was Los Altos, they gave these awards to certain individuals, and I was just dialed in, man. I'm really proud of myself now, looking back at like all of my accomplishments. Like when I was creating this presentation, it just felt like nostalgia, or just thinking about what life was really like, and it was a blessing, and this is something that like I took for granted after it was gone because when it was all gone, dude, I didn't know how to deal with it because this is all that I focused on. And being champs with the squad here, like Tony and Hunter, like these were my dogs, like just getting onto the field, kicking it outside of practice and games. Like, I hope you guys are doing well if you guys are watching this, man. We had some good times. We had a good run at Legends, and yeah, like coming back to that squad, it just always felt right. You know what I mean? It always felt right. So senior year, doing applications on my own, figuring out applications, sending out messages to coaches, like Cal State East Bay, Monterey Bay, coaches just everywhere, dude. Like I just wanted to play. I just wanted a coach to want me to play for his team. That's what I always said. So I just wanted a scholarship, and I didn't have any offers coming out of high school. So I was trying ID camps. I remember driving in my truck all the way to Oxnard, which was like 2 hours, 2.5 hours away. I remember driving there on my own, performing pretty well at the ID camp, not having any coaches talk to me. And it was just one of those things where like felt like I'm trying so very hard to make this happen, man. Like this is a grind right now. When is it going to be my opportunity? Like when am I going to get that chance? And it never came, guys. It never came until I remember playing against our rivals at Wilson. And there was a coach who showed up who wanted me to play for his team. And at the time, Brennis, Coach Brennis showed up, and this was for Rio Hondo. And this was a community college. And I remember feeling happy and excited, but I also felt like I wanted more. I wanted to play at a 4 year. Like I wanted to perform at a higher level. I wanted the scholarship. Like I wanted all of that. I felt like with all the work that I did in the classroom, I averaged like a 3.78 GPA, and I performed the way that I did on the field, earning all of these awards. And like I felt like this wasn't enough. And that's very selfish to think of because I just wanted an opportunity to play. And little did I know, going into community college, dude, these were the years that I really tried to figure out like who I really was. Like I had no idea who I was, what I was about, what I was working towards. I really lost myself. And funny story, just to backtrack a little, like graduated high school and then that summer before college, I was actually training with Fullerton Community College. And I clearly remember getting a phone call and I thought it was the coach from Rio Hondo because I was training with Fullerton and I was also training with Rio Hondo. So when the coach called, he's telling me to enroll in classes and sign up for this class, sign up for that class, and I couldn't get it. So I sent him a picture of what I was showing and I was on Rio Hondo's website trying to enroll. And he told me, well, the reason why you're not able to enroll is because you're on the wrong website. Like we're talking about Fullerton here, not about Rio Hondo. Like, is that where you plan on playing? And the reason why I was committing to Rio Hondo was because before that phone call, I didn't hear from him. So I didn't know if the coach wanted me to play. I didn't know what the roster was looking like. I didn't know. So I had made that decision, like, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna play at Rio Hondo and I'm gonna give it a try. And he honestly tried to convince me not to. He really did. He tried to tell me that coaches weren't full time, that coaches weren't gonna put all their effort into you. And I felt like, you know what, I got this. Like, I'm good. Thank you for your time though. And I committed to Rio Hondo. And dude, this is where my first year there, I went from being so freaking confident on the field, earning all of these awards, MVP of the league, MVP of the team, first team all area, senior year, to my first year in college, feeling like a completely different player. And in a way to where I didn't even remember what I was capable of. I didn't even know what I could accomplish. I didn't have the confidence that I did when I played for my senior year. And I just felt like I was always disconnected with my mind and my body. Like I didn't know what I stood for. And I even started, dude. It was just very confusing. And it was just very confusing. Like I didn't know who I was, to be honest. And no one really does. You're 18, 19, getting 18, 17, 18, getting out of high school. You don't got anything figured out. Even though you think you do, like you have no idea. And I had no idea. And it showed. Get on the field, felt like I just didn't belong. I felt like every time I made a mistake, I would just beat myself up. I felt like every time I messed up, that my team was disappointed in me. And that negative self-talk played a huge role in how I performed. And I performed in a very negative way, man. Like I didn't show up to the best of my ability, even though I was trying, even though I did extra work, even though I played more, I tried more workouts. I hit the gym more. I went for more runs. I got more fit. I was always the most fit on the team, guys. Always, both years. I was always top one, two, or three in running and doing the drills and being most fit and being most endurance and being the fastest, like always. But I never understood why that work that I put in, it never correlated on the field. It never correlated on the field. I felt disconnected with my mind and with my body. I felt like the efforts I did didn't match with my mind. And that alone is more than enough to destroy your self-confidence. And that's what happened. Going into the second year was the same thing. I didn't transfer. I could have transferred. I didn't transfer. I stood at Rio Hondo and it was the same thing. It was better, but it was the same thing where I just felt like, man, what am I missing? Like, why am I not getting this? And I actually ended up, despite all of the negative thoughts and self-talk and negative experiences around it, I had the opportunity to be captain. So that was a opportunity that I'm grateful for, but I felt like I still didn't deserve. So let alone that approach wasn't going to benefit me or my teammates because I wasn't confident in myself the way I should have been, the way I should have been, like the way that I am now, the way that I was when I was in high school, you know, playing, performing, being confident, like talking smack, like hitting everybody hard, but like playing clean. Like I didn't have that confidence in myself. And all I wanted was a coach to want me to play for him. This still stood. I just wanted to play somewhere. And I ended up getting All American. I was just one of three in California to earn that honor when I did in 2018, 2019 season. And dude, it just still felt like one of those things where I remember sleeping in one day because I remember staying up late working out. And I remember sleeping in the next day and I woke up to a message from my phone. You know how like you kind of lay down and kind of just like look at your phone? Like I remember looking at a message and reading that one of my coaches reached out to me, Javi, and he said, "I just wanted to be the first one to congratulate you for earning Scholar All-American. This is a huge accomplishment and you should be very proud of yourself and I'm very proud of you." And I remember reading that message and like smiling and I just put my phone down and I went back to sleep. And I just remember thinking, yeah, man, like I worked for that. Like that's cool. That was it though. Like that's cool. I worked for that. And I was just one of three in California out of all of the people who played sports, out of all of the people who played that year, just one of three. I went to Chicago with my family. This is me in Chicago. My parents, my brother, they went with me and they just were able to see that and be a part of that. And we walked into the room where they hosted a whole conference and like there was people in other divisions and there was male and female athletes, different ages, and we all like had an opportunity to like step up on the stage and get, you know, get that award honored to us. And it just still didn't feel like enough, man. Like I was proud of myself, but it was just like, well, what's next, man? I just felt like it wasn't my scholarship. That's all I wanted. I downgraded myself. I degraded my honor. I degraded my work. And it was one of those things where I just didn't think everything I was doing was ever going to pay off. It just felt like it was never going to pay off. And this mindset actually played a very negative role and caused me to get into a very victim-like mentality, which is very destructive. So I remember hitting the gym, right? This was before before our garage. my parents' garage was the actual gym as how you guys see it now. This was the garage with just like a bunch of crap everywhere and just like the gym rack. And I remember working out and I got a phone call from a coach. And this coach was from a Division 3 school in Laverne. And right off the bat, he told me that he wanted me to play for him, that he thought it would be a good fit, that he wanted me to come try out, and he wanted me to be a part of the squad and see what we can do. And he mentioned to me that the only thing about Division 3 schools is they weren't able to give any scholarships for athletics. And this was a private school, so it was very expensive. And I just felt like, gosh, this isn't what I want to do. But I'll try it, but I'll try it out, I'll see what happens. So that goes, I think that's why I fell in love with working out even more because like while I was working out, I get a phone call for an opportunity to go play somewhere. Like that just developed my love for working out. Little did I know. So the summer before college, we're doing the training camp for Laverne, and I'm showing up, dude, 6 a.m. practices. I'm driving out there. I'm doing what I got to do, staying out there to see what campus would be like. And it just didn't feel right, dude. It just didn't feel like I wanted to do that. It felt like school was going to be too expensive. I felt like I deserved better, to be honest. I felt like I deserved better. And that was very egotistical of me to think. I was keeping in consideration, I didn't want to get into debt because of school. I didn't want to pay so much for school just to play soccer. But that was just me justifying every reason why I shouldn't. And the picture right here on the right was like, no more second guessing. Like, I'm gonna just do it. And I even considered going up to school in Monterey Bay. My parents and I, my grandma, my brother, Angel, we all went up there to go see like what school would be like. And I remember being there and thinking, damn, this would be pretty cool, man. Like I kind of see this, I can see this happening. Even playing out here would be great. But then I just decided to take a semester off. Like I didn't feel like that was even the right decision anymore. So I just worked, dude. After that summer of just grinding, I just worked. Yeah, I worked out, I did what I had to do. I hit the gym and stuff. But I just worked. I worked at a warehouse. I worked at Macy's. I worked 30 to 40 hours a week. I was just working there down the street from where I lived. And I was applying to schools because I didn't know where I was going to go in January and I just wanted to start somewhere and I just wanted to just finish school and get it done and just move on, right? Go play somewhere. But I still didn't have any opportunities because I just spent like, 4 to 5 months of working, not even working out, not even playing for a team, not even doing anything, just working. So I was just trying to figure out where I can apply to schools so maybe I can try out for the team. And while I was working, I basically worked to pay off for my tattoo. Oh man, it's funny just thinking about like where things are really at now because I have a completely different perspective about investing into certain things. And for me, I love my tattoo. Like my artist did a great job and I really like it a lot. I do. But this was one of my worst investments just because I didn't need to invest into that a tattoo, let alone a sleeve. And it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. I'll just be honest with you guys. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. It was 7 grand. And in my time working there, I basically just paid for my tattoo. So I took a semester off to work to pay for my tattoo. So let's go to school then, right? Like that happened. So I'm like, all right, let's go to school. I went to Cal State Fullerton, where I graduated virtually. And this was in spring of 2020. It's around March. And I remember, um, you know, I remember joining, well, I'll backtrack a little bit. I ended up joining a club team, a club soccer team. So it wasn't Cal State Fullerton's Division 1 team, but it was a club soccer team. And I remember they had a booth. They had a booth here, they had a booth there, and it was just different clubs that you can join. And I remember walking by the soccer one, and I just kind of thought, eh, and I just kept walking. And then I stopped myself. I was like, what if this is just my opportunity this time, just to see? So I went back, I grabbed the flyer, I said, what's up to the guys? And I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna try out. I just decided in that moment. Something happened where I missed the first tryout and I had to only make the second tryout. So I made the team, and I was really proud of myself, dude. And soccer was fun again. Like I felt so confident on the field. I felt like a leader. I felt like the squad that I was on, they looked up to me. I was willing to work hard, and we were just all on the same page, dude. Like we all worked hard. And my last game ever competitively, and this is why like I take it to heart on like what sports like really did for me. You know what I mean? And that last game before the world got shut down, that last game, I was injured. I had gotten in a tackle. My hip was hurting. And all game I'm limping. I'm still on the field and I'm still talking my smack and I'm still going at it with the guy I'm guarding. I'm playing right back. I'm still going at it with the guy running up and down the sideline injured and just talking smack, dude, having fun. You know how it is. Like soccer's a very competitive sport, and that's what it was, dude. It was just all love, right? And little did I know that that was going to be the last game that I ever played competitively because then COVID happened and soccer got stripped away. And I could have got subbed out. I could have asked for a sub. I could have just been like, oh, I'm too injured. But like I take that with pride that I didn't. I played through it. I stuck to myself. I stuck to my ground. I played how I knew how to play, and I had that confidence in myself. And after graduating online, it was a major adjustment, dude. Like I didn't know who I was. I felt like I lost a piece of my identity without sports. It felt like I didn't know who I was, what I was supposed to be doing. It felt like I was very confused. I was very depressed. I just felt very sad about where I was at because everything that I worked towards was, it felt like for nothing. I wasn't working this great paying job. Like I was starting to figure out personal training and I was just like training a few people here and there, but it wasn't enough money to do anything with. And like it was a very confusing time, guys. It was very difficult to figure out what was the next step. Like I didn't know what to do. And after that tough time, I did DoorDash for a while, for a few years, to be honest. I coached. This is a slide that I didn't incorporate, but like after after graduating, I coached soccer for 2 years at the same high school that I graduated from. And I actually coached with Javi, which was my coach in high school. So we were both coaches for the squads, the boys soccer team, and we won a chip. We won a championship. We won a CIF championship, and I should have incorporated a slide on that. But after I graduated virtually, I coached for 2 years. We won a championship, but because I love the game so much, I found and not only won a championship, I also was able to help the boys JV soccer squad win league champs the next season. So that right there, man, like I love being a part of a team. I love being a part of a squad, a winning team, someone who's got each other's backs. Like that's what it's about. That's what soccer's taught me. That's why I feel like it's so important to do it now, especially when you're not a part of a team, when you're not playing competitively, when you're not doing all those things anymore. I truly believe that that can be the biggest game changer, whether somebody's successful in their fitness journey, in their journey to achieving whatever they want, and versus somebody who's not successful. And that's why now, that's why now, even after coaching for 2 years, man, 4 years after graduating, I'm a successful online coach. I have a squad that trusts me, the Forever Fit Academy, and helping them get into the best shape of their life. And that never goes for granted, man. Like I'm forever grateful for the people that have given me an opportunity to help them get into the best shape of their life, to be a part of a squad again, to be a part of the team again, to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And for me, that has been the biggest blessing. I love what I do. I love what I'm able to do, and I'm able to help more people around the world. And it's all it all works out the way that it's supposed to. I'm a gym rat. Like I love being in the gym. I'm I'm literally working hard in the gym, pushing myself even harder, just still on that grind, still trying to, achieve my dream physique. Like my goal this year is to hit 180 pounds lean, and I'm gonna work towards that, and I'm gonna document that, and I'm gonna show you guys. And like, I'm just here to show you that you can do this too, man. Like, whatever it is that you want to achieve, sports build you up to where you are now. And because you've built character traits, doesn't mean that they're gone. Sometimes you just forget about them because you're in a different environment now. All you're doing is working. All you're doing is providing for a family. All you're doing is just getting by. And it's very easy to lose yourself in that process. And that's why I continuously invest into my health, my mindset, my business. Guys, on the left here, this is not the first time I met my mentor, but the second time I met my mentor. Like I got a coach too. And I got a coach and I wanted to meet him and I wanted to meet him in person. Like I went to Canada to meet him. I'm in the States. I'm in Cali. Like things like that only allow you to grow. Things like that put you in uncomfortable positions so that way you can grow. And I'm all about that. I don't just talk the talk, guys. Like I got a coach too. Investing into yourself, your health, your mindset, your fitness, it is the best investment. It has infinite return as long as you're willing to put the work in. As long as you're willing to put the work in. And that belief has been instilled into my mind because of this guy. Like this guy, Brian, my mentor, has played a huge role in how I approach things and how I think about things now, how I take care of my mindset. This is what I struggled with before, guys. This is what I couldn't understand before. I didn't get it. I didn't know how important it was. And now that's all I do. Like I take care of myself. I do meditations. I got vision videos. I got vision boards. I I do meditation before bed every night. Like I'm taking care of myself, my mind. And that is allowing me to step into this unlimited potential that we all have. There's nothing different from me, man, than from you or from anybody else. Like I've met millionaires. I've sat in a room with millionaires and sat at a table with millionaires. And the only difference between us and from them or somebody successful that you look up to in your life is that they just made the decision that they're going to do it. That's it. There's nothing special about them. There's nothing different. Meeting them in person made it real. Meeting them in person made it real. And it made me think, if they can do it, why not me? Why can't I? If they can do it, why can't I? Like I'm a full-time content creator now, and I'm just so blessed for the opportunity of learning. Yes, this is it. Yes, this is what I want. No, this is what I don't want. Yes, I'm gonna fail forward. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna do it wrong. I'm gonna fall forward, but I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna invest into a mentor, and I'm not gonna do the work, but I'm gonna still try again anyway. And then, like, guys, that is the process. But as long as you never quit, you never lose, dude. You only learn. And I just like to think this. This is the last thing that I'm going to want to talk about. It's like, what's the best that can happen? What's the best that can happen? Not what's the worst. What's the best that can happen? Let's say you take a chance on yourself, you go all in, you learn to trust yourself, you learn to believe in yourself, get into the best shape of your life, chiseled chest, super confident, proud of who you see in the mirror, ripping off your shirt at the beach, wearing clothes that fit you tight on your shoulders and not on your love handles anymore. You get into the best shape of your life, become super confident, you love who you are. That's the best that can happen if I just commit to greatness every day, if I just commit to being better every day. Why would you not take a chance? Why would you not? I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel. Guys, we're just getting started. So, like, why would you not? I'm chasing it, and I know that you can too. And I really believe in that. And I really appreciate you for being here and listening to this until the end. I appreciate you for listening to my story and understanding that you're not the only one who's gone through it with sports. I understand what it feels like. You put everything into the game, and sometimes it feels like you don't get what you want in return. But just know that all of the character traits that you've built through the years of competition, they bleed into your everyday life. And if you can use that to your advantage, you can do anything you want. Guys, drop a like, make sure you subscribe. We're in this for the long run. I appreciate you guys for being here. I hope that you found this valuable and more importantly, inspirational. Like, I want you to use this and understand that you can do it too. And by in no way, shape, or form am I done. And I'm learning to give myself credit along the way because I didn't before. But I know I'm on the right path. And that alone is going to pay off. So I appreciate you for being here. And I hope you have the best day of your entire life. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.